he knows if I stay in this space, that
it's done.
So sometimes you gotta let it go. I'm not in love with him.
Elena, you're not in love with him?
No, it's really hard for me to admit that I'm not in love with Josh, but it's me facing my truth and living in my truth, and I'm okay with that. Would you be sleeping in separate rooms if you were in love with
people
someone?
are in love with.
Hey guys, welcome to Little Black Butt 91. Listen, it's Wednesday night, so it means we're having one of our wonderful, crazy conversations. Okay, I need to set my camera because my camera will not be facing me. We're gonna have a great conversation today. We're talking to you guys today about if you fall out of love in the relationship, is it over? Yeah, not my phone going off. My phone done tell me, listen, wake your ass up. If you fall out of love, is the relationship over? That's the question we're asking today. Of course, I'm with my wonderful guest, Jay. I'll bring her up in a second or two. Of course, I've got one or two guests coming on today as well to share their opinions today. Okay, so the question we're asking is, if you fall out of love in the relationship, is it over? I want some comments in the chat as well. Get you guys involved in today's discussion as well. And if you fancy coming up as well a little bit later on in the show, then by all means, let us know. We'll put a link in the chat, but we need cameras on, please. If you haven't got a camera, don't worry about it. Sit down and just enjoy the show. You know what I'm saying, Chu? Sit down and enjoy the show. You feel me? But let me introduce my wonderful guest. You know who she is: illustrious, wonderful, wise, deep, full of color when she comes on the platform as well. Give a warm welcome to my wonderful, amazing, beautiful, I'm even running out superlatives to even say. There isn't enough words to describe her. Jay, baby.
Are you saying full of color because I'm light skinned and I color changed over the summer?
Just a little. How you doing, baby?
I changed with the seasons, baby. How y'all doing today? I'm
Right.
good. I'm good. How are you, Coach?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. I'm not doing too bad. We're alive and we're well, you know what I mean? And this topic is going to be an interesting one. I can tell straight away. This topic is going to be an interesting one, you know?
This topic definitely has layers to it. We're going to have to peel back some of this onion today.
You ain't lying at all. Okay, well, listen, you know what? I normally do this with the guests I normally interview, but I thought I'd play a little game with you. Okay. Yeah, I got a few bunch of random questions I want to ask you. You got to just choose one of the two.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You got to choose one of the two. Okay. All right. I'm gonna get this icebreaker on the way. Okay. First questions. Up or down? In or out?
Yeah. I don't know where we're going with these questions, but I like
them. Yes, and if you're in the audience, you can join in as well. You can put your comments in the chat as well. Black or white?
Black.
Sugar or sweet?
Sugar or sweet? Interesting.
Right, sugar or salt? Sugar or salt? Ooh.
It depends. Depends. I would probably lean because I can't take too much of both. But I want to say I don't know where I would lean too much on this because it just depends on the food. Sugar though.
Sugar. Okay. Cool.
I would say salt because I'm sweet enough, but
okay.
No. Both of them.
You can't do both. You have to choose one.
Salty sugar.
You gotta choose one. You gotta
sugar
choose
salt.
One.
Can I go sour? Can I go sour?
Nope. Your first answer if you want.
If you went sweet and sour, I'd have definitely said sour, but salt and sugar, yeah, I don't know. I'll go with the sugar.
Okay, cool. Winter, summer?
Summer.
Autumn, spring?
Spring.
Chicken, lamb,
Lamb,
crab,
boot,
lobster,
crab,
water, juice.
water.
Yes or no?
Always a yes until I say no.
Mm.
No's is just yes is waiting to come later.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you. I'm with you. Hot or cold?
Hot,
Ice or fire?
fire,
Danger or safe?
danger,
Night or day?
night,
Mm. Outside or inside?
inside. Like, what are we talking about? Outside and what? Or
Could be
like,
anything. I'm not specifying it.
damn it. I'm gonna be inside more. So inside.
Tall or short?
Tall.
All right.
I ain't going against my tall baby.
Oh, listen, we've warmed ourselves up, guys. That's a little cheeky little game. It has no meaning. It literally has none. There is actually no meaning. It's just to just ask someone questions and just have a bit of fun. And yeah, we just had a little bit of a joke with it as well. Well, listen, let's get into this conversation because this is like you said, there's so many layers to this conversation, right? You know, we just watched a clip of Heart and Hustle, which is a show on OWN, and the episode where I can't remember the young lady's name actually, but she is feeling like she has fallen out of love. Okay, and that means she moved out the bedroom, etc., etc. But I want to ask you, Jay, just from hearing that question, if you fall out of love in the relationship, does that mean it is over?
Cut and dry, no. However, it's could be the start of the end.
How you mean?
Well, first let's explain this. There is love and there is in love, and I like how the young lady said in the thing she is not in love. So there's a difference there. So I can love you all day long and have distance from you. I can love you and not really F with you. You know what I'm saying? I can love with you and not like you. But when I fall in love with you, it's almost you can't do no wrong. You just a glow in my eye all the time and stuff like that. And that's a euphoria feeling. However, it is really a feeling, and that feeling can be fleeting a lot of times. And it's hard to stay in that space alone. The problem is a lot of times we fall in love with a person without them being in love with us or in passing ships or as passing ships. You know what I'm saying? Like as I'm falling in love, that person's not thinking nothing about it. But as soon as I start falling out, they could be falling in. So it's very seldom that you and your partner end up doing it together. And I think sometimes when we think of those people that just be like, oh, I've been with my partner, I met them at this age and stuff like that. A lot of times they have fallen in together almost at the same time, which made it last a lot longer. But when you start talking to couples that have been together for a long time, you'll know that every day is a new day. And one of the things that I was taught by one of the couples is every day you wake up, you have to start that day brand new. You got to find reasons to love that person every single day. You know what I'm saying? Not be in love, but actually just love that person every single day. And as people change and grow, there'll be parts of them that you don't necessarily like. You may not love about them or whatever and stuff, but you'll find ways to work with them. You know what I'm saying? If that's your person. Now, as far as what I was saying, it being the start to the end of a relationship is when you come out of that euphoria, it's like post-nut clarity sometimes. You start looking at that person a little different, and it's like, wait a minute, what was I seeing so much or whatever and stuff like that, that a lot of the things start to irritate you because you were on a high about that person and you ignored all of the things we might seem as red flags, yellow flags, whatever it may be. You ignore a lot of that stuff during that high. And when you come down, you start paying attention to it, because what your subconscious is really doing is asking, why weren't they on that high with me? You start noticing all the things and stuff, and you start noticing things that make you a little bit separate. But it doesn't necessarily mean the relationship is over. And like what Rose said last night, I like her comment and stuff, is like, especially if you are friends or if you built a friendship. You know what I'm saying? It's because that part of it still is there. It's like, that's still my friend. I still have love for my friend. I still want to have something with my friend. So as a friend, let's work this out. Let's talk about it. Let's do this. And so it could be the beginning of the end, or it could be the beginning of a new beginning. It just depends on how you two work at it.
I'll definitely hear you on that. I think, and I'm taking it away a little bit, the thing, it's scary to think that because of the way our brains think about it, that someone could fall out of love with you, you know? Like, if I really deep it, like, it feels a little bit scary to think, hey, someone could fall out of love with me, and I could have done something, or there may be nothing I could have done about it. You know what I mean? It just could be a season. And I do ask myself, are you ready to ride a wave if that season hits? Let's say there's nothing necessarily that you could actually necessarily do, right? Because things are cycles, right? Sometimes you just go for a cycle and it's like, you just go for the wave. What I think my brain starts thinking, like, if that's the case, like, what's the point of being in this relationship, in a long-term relationship, if they could fall out of love? What I'm really saying actually is not necessarily about them falling out of love. I think the fear that I'm feeling is that they fall out of love and then they leave. I don't think falling out of love is an issue. I think falling out of love and thinking about that, with everything you've built emotionally, with all the time and the years you've put together, someone could fall out of love and say, I'm done. And it could be over right there and then, or at least it could be the beginning of the end, and you may not even know, in this situation. Do you think the scenario I've given is a regular scenario, that someone falls out of love and leaves? So difference, not falling out of love, but falling out of love and leaving. Is that a common thing that happens with people without there being a cause?
I'll say yes, and I'll also say this: without a cause. It may be many causes that added up to the leaving. But yeah, I think it can happen, and it could seem like it's without a cause or whatnot. It's just that things were happening while that person was in the euphoria state to take them out of that. However, I think where we fall short a lot of times is either one, we're in strong lust and think we're in love. Because a lot of times we don't really know we're in love until we're out of it. Let's be honest, and stuff like that. So one, you're in a strong lust and you just think it's love or whatever, or you love the person for the wrong reasons. And then like two, there is this thing of we're not communicating. We're not self-aware that we are in this space, and we're not communicating with our partner on how to keep us in that space, or things they're doing that's slowly taking us out of that space. And vice versa, where our partner is not necessarily listening to us when we're trying to, the ones that are trying to communicate, when we're trying to communicate, our partner is not listening to us, or they're incapable of doing what we ask. or making those changes or whatever they cause. I don't like to say changes too much because I don't want a person to totally change themselves, but making those exceptions for us to stay in that space. So it's tricky. I think I'm more scared of a person loving me and leaving me.
What does that mean?
Sometimes people love you enough to say either you're not their person, you're not right for them, or they're like, they see you on a certain pedestal or whatever and stuff like that, and they just know they're not going to treat you right, but they have that love for you. You know what I'm saying? Because when I see that, it's like, I want you. And I've been in this position where somebody was told me once before, it was like, I'm wifey material, and they're just not in the space to actually treat me the way I needed to be treated. But I like that person. I really wanted that person or whatever and stuff like that. But, it was the love that they had for me as an individual and my character and all that stuff to make them say, you know what, let me not even do her like that. It hurts a little bit. It's almost to the point because I never had that opportunity. So it made to be in a position with you. So that one hurts me a little bit more than I've had the opportunity. It just didn't work.
I'm hearing you. Yeah, I'm definitely hearing you. I think, someone loving you and falling out of a relationship, I don't think the relationship is over. I do believe it's an opportunity. I'm starting to see conflict and problems as an opportunity now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? As I'm growing more secure, I'm recognizing that situations are actually a prime opportunity to reinvent, resurrect, and re-inject life into a cycle that's come to an end. So we are entering a new season. That's how I look at it. You know what I mean? Bar there not being anything that the person's done wrong in terms of like, you done spent 100K somewhere else they shouldn't have, or cheated on you. But it's an opportunity. I'm looking at those scenarios as an opportunity to mean that this new season means it requires a new me and needs growth and change. That still scares me, because I think the thought process is, will I be able to meet the standard of this new season? You know what I mean? I think a lot of men do feel that, right? Like, I think a natural one to say about a change, and it's probably not necessarily about falling out of love, but change in terms of cycle, is having kids. I think both men and women both have fear in this area. The fear is that the man will change and he'll show his true colors. He hated you all along. You know what I mean? And I think for the men, the fear is that you will take your love away from us and you will place it on that child and it doesn't come back. And there's no room for loving us in the way that you previously did. And of course, it's never going to be the same, but that love that once was vivacious, caring, compassionate, it was encompassing, it was doting, that love disappearing on us. I think that's a really big fear for men, and I'm sure it's a big fear for women too, in terms of how we may behave in that space. Now, if both people are both fearing that change, it can sometimes be a game of who moved first, chess piece, if you haven't learned to be a bit more secure, because that's when the games can begin to start, because you're like trying to anticipate that they're going to do something or they're going to change in a particular way. So I'm going to make sure that it doesn't end. I'm going to make sure it doesn't disappear. I'm going to do things, ahead of time, but not in a way of positivity, but in a way of almost manipulation, to make sure that this love stays. And actually you can end up causing the very thing that you actually feared as well. So I know I've taken a little bit left. I don't know, from your perspective, do you ever feel like, obviously your mother, so that you can probably give us a real kind of eye opener into that space. Did you feel like that? I don't know if you had the same scenario or similar to that, but
I, oddly enough, did I fall in love with him prior? I think our situation just kind of happened so fast that the love for me didn't come until after
okay.
our daughter. But it was just, I just know his insecurities at the time kind of like took me out of that space, because it was just like I'm being accused of a whole bunch of things or whatever, when it's like technically all I see is you. You know what I'm saying? I can't help who lives in the apartment building with me or whatever and stuff like that. Can't help that, you know, the guys and the girls basketball team is close or whatever. I can't help these things, but when it comes down to it, who I talk about is you. And so in our situation, it was more so of his fears limiting our capability of being something great. His fears turned into my fears, because then it was like, well, if you accuse me of this, you must be doing it. You know what I'm saying? You must be this or whatever and stuff like that. I can't breathe. You got to be doing something. So it was just a cycle. And that's what I was going to say about when you said the fear of it, of fear places you in a box. It jails you, and it hinders your growth or whatnot. Can't fear change. That's one. That's inevitable. Change is inevitable. You know, in order for you to adapt, you have to go through change, and you really need to do that. And that's a place, like you said, now we can welcome conversations. We can welcome the growth. You know, I think where I will hold some reserve and some fear is choosing a person who's not willing to fight with me. They're rather fight against me than fight with me on this. You know what I'm saying? So instead of us having the conversation, instead of us going to the therapy, instead of us trying to work it out, they just want to do what they want to do regardless. And that's where I like rest a lot of my, say if I have the fear or whatever, or like set my reserves in, it's just that being that person that is not really aligned with me to actually walk down that path with me. Like I think long term. So it's like in long term, we're going to have to sit down and we're going to have some tough conversations. Some days I might not like you. I love you, but I might not like you. And I got to figure out, is it me? Is it something about me? Or is it something that you're actually doing that I don't like? And then I have to talk about it with you. Is it something that you can fix? Is it something that I can fix? Do we need some outside help? And so if I'm with a person and they're just like, no, we don't need that. We're good. It's okay. It'll fix itself. Just let it breathe. Then it's like that part, that's where I fear. I fear that the most, is because it's like, damn, I chose the wrong person. Because I want somebody that is willing to do the work with me.
I definitely hear that. Man, it's interesting. You know, I think this love situation, you know, falling out of love, you know, is such a nuanced conversation, you know, and I think you know, maybe we don't have conversations enough, maybe with ourselves around, you know, around the area of being in a space where actually we can ride the waves. I guess this comes with conversation with the older generation, right? About understanding that relationships have seasons, they have waves, they have moments, and sometimes you just got to hold on and stick with it a little bit and go through it. You know what I mean? And stay as secure as you can in those particular moments as well. Mm-hmm. So, you know, okay, maybe we can ask the question then. Why do people fall out of love? I know we talk about cycles. I know we talk about seasons. I know we talk about, you know, the waves. But from your perspective, why do people fall out of love?
I won't speak general about it. I'll speak specific. You know, sometimes you just fall out of love. You didn't even realize you fell out of love or whatever. But I know for me, when I feel like I've fallen out of love, like I say, it's the situation of I'm telling you what it is I need to stay in this space. And I feel, and I know I could be wrong in this, but I feel you're not hearing me or applying anything I'm saying or whatnot. And it's backed up by action. So that's why I say I start off with a feel, but your actions are showing me that this is not what you want. So for me, it's like, okay, come back to reality. We got to get out this optimism, euphoria, whatever little phase we in, because reality is this person is telling you by their actions, they're not hearing. They don't want you. You know what I'm saying? And not saying that they don't love you, but it's just like they may be incapable of doing what I need. You know, I wish it was just a thing that I can always do on my own or whatever, but loving a person, it takes them being open with you, being vulnerable with you, allowing you into their space. And some people close you out. And they don't realize they're doing it. But every time you ask them what's wrong, oh, nothing. But you know it's something wrong. How was your day? Oh, it's great. You know, I'm a sapiosexual, so if we're not talking, if the conversation not stimulating, it's gonna be hard for me to be in love. I'm in love with your brain. So if your brain is not operating to a certain level, for me, I'm just like checked out. Now, other people, it might be finances, it might be emotional support. You know, sometimes it's hormonal. Sometimes, especially as women, we take different pills and things like this, either to regulate our womanhood or to, you know, be a contraceptive and all that stuff. And all of those different things have an effect on us. And it's not, how do I want to put it? It sometimes can affect your emotional state with somebody. Being depressed on certain pills can do that to you too. Just suffering depression sometimes can do it. It's various reasons why people probably fall out of love, because it's so easy to do, really. And we live in a world where it's like, well, don't no longer love you. Let me go find something else. I don't want to work on this no more. We're in that microwave world. So we don't want to cook nothing. We don't want slow cook. We don't, if it's risotto, I ain't doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like that take work. I didn't want to pop it in the microwave and have it be ready when I say it's ready. So we're battling a lot of things in the world. And then when you have so many options, it's like, oh, well, this person's just not giving me what I want. So I'm gonna go over here and get it.
I hear you. And it's interesting because when you mention about why you personal one, it did involve a reason. And I think a lot of time, and what you mentioned about the person not hearing you, what I started to think about was disconnection, right? So falling out of love for me is like there's a disconnect that's happening. There's needs that are needed. There's needs that are in need of being fulfilled and they're not being fulfilled, and there is a disconnection. So there's not a quick enough response to the need and the new needs that are in that season, and therefore there is a disconnect. So the slower you are to respond to the new season, you know, the longer the disconnect can take place in the relationship of feeling that feeling. And you do that enough times and enough seasons, and I guess that potentially then brings on an onslaught of the disconnection that leads to a person falling out of love, right? That person is no longer hearing you, seeing you, and no longer, really understanding where you're coming from. And so I think cause that's what I was going to. I was like, I feel like there's a lot of times for a lot of people, not everyone, there's a reason. Because whenever you hear that I'm falling out of love, most people can pinpoint that something was happening in that relationship that wasn't meeting the need. And because they said it several times and done things, they felt like they kept on being ignored and not being adhered to. Now we're here. And I think that comes back to the responsiveness. That's very difficult because change requires growth. It requires knowledge. It requires understanding. It requires wisdom. It requires you literally to be emotionally attuned to one another throughout. And that can be difficult because so many other things are happening in life. You know, you got your job, you got your career, you got your kids, you've got friends. Thank you for that, Jay, as well, because I was going to type, but I couldn't at the same time. And all that kind of stuff. So it's like, it can be difficult to stay emotionally attuned. And I do think to myself that this requires two people that are willing to serve one another, irrespective of what's happening around them, right? Two people who are willing to say, we are the priority, not the world is the priority, right? So like, if I see like, let's say like Jay, we are going out, and then I can see that, you know what, this season has been a very heavy season. Some of the things that's very difficult, it can be very difficult because sometimes you're going through your own thing, and it's like you have to make this choice where it's like, do I surrender my needs right now and supply yours, or do I, you have to make some proper choices. And sometimes it's not even about the choice, it's the language that's being used in that season. Sometimes our language can be violent and actually cause a separation rather than a coming together. I may be able to see that in this moment, Jay, this season is heavy for you. Maybe family is happening right now, but I'm in need of you. I'm in need of more time with you, more quality time with you. But if I say to you, you don't see me, you just care about your family, you just care about your situation, you're not caring about me, this is violence. Right? That response is violence. And actually what ends up happening is, instead of me getting the connection that I want with you, you may connect with me for a short while, but resentment kicks in, and then you pull away again because it's like, I didn't handle you in that season correctly. And this goes for both men and women, by the way, about how to really communicate our needs in that season. So I can acknowledge, hey, Jay, I know it's a heavy season right now. I know it's a heavy season. Can we talk about maybe how, I can support you in a season? I also need, a bit of support. I want a bit more of your time. If not, it just means you're just sitting with me and we don't talk too much. I'll take it for now. I'll take a little bit of a scratch to the season. I can see that you ain't got much to give in this season. You know what I mean? Like, I can see that, and I want to support you for that. Do you know what I'm saying to you? And that can be very difficult too, because navigating that space of how much in that season do I concede, it can be very difficult. How long are we going to do this for? Right? How long am I going to surrender my needs or cut short some of my needs to fulfill yours in that space? That can be very difficult too. And that's where I think conversation comes in. More conversation comes in, but knowing that the other person really wants the best for you and not just to insult you or to chastise you, I think makes a massive difference for people, like, to know that, hey, I'm exhausted in the season. I don't even know what I can give you right now. And I can also tell you the truth. I know you're exhausted and I know you're tired. I know I just want something from you, but I want to tell you the honest truth. I still want something from you. And I can also understand that you may not have anything to give, but I want to let you know that I still desire, I still want our time. You know what I mean? It just I might not get the result I want, but I still want to tell you that's how I'm feeling, so that you can also understand that too, and then we can see if we can begin to problem solve. But I want to validate your feelings, and I need to validate my own feelings. And I think that becomes tricky for a lot of people. How much do I say yes to or no to, or how much do I validate? What's your thoughts to that before we bring anybody else on?
I agree to you. I do feel like that is the most trickiest part because you're fighting not losing yourself. You're fighting to
Yeah.
stay independently you while being in union with somebody else.
Mm.
It's a tough space, and it takes self-awareness from both partners. It takes vulnerability from both partners. It takes effective communication from both partners because we some of us like to say, "Oh, I'm an over communicator, I'm an oversharer." But just be talking all wrong to their partner. You know what I'm saying? Is like you said, it comes off hostile. It chooses violence first or whatever. So the person that they're talking to responds in a defensive manner. They longer is here. So you have to walk into the situation, and that's why I like what Rose said first. Is like, if you're friends, because we give our friends so many chances, and we have so many conversations with our friend. So sometimes when we're friends first, we step back and say, you know what, friend, let's have a talk. Friend to friend, we're not in a relationship right now. Let's have a talk because what's going on? Because it's funny enough, the weird thing that we do when we're friends with people is we pay attention to them. We pay attention to our friends a lot. If you really look and you pay attention, you'll notice your friend is feeling some type of way before your friend even say anything. But we don't treat our partners like that a lot of times. Our partner is there, so they're gonna be there, so it's okay. We ain't gotta worry about it. They gonna be there. They good. You know what I'm saying? It was something like one of my relationships told me one day. It was like, I always just knew you was gonna be there until you wasn't. It's just like you just took advantage because you just thought I was always going to be there. So without communication or without understanding, you was just going to do whatever because you just knew I was going to be there. And that's a lot of times how people carry the relationship is that person is going to be there, so it's okay. We've have enough time in. They're not going nowhere. Where are they going to go? Not realize that sometimes people are just building their nest somewhere else before they actually make that move. You know what I'm saying? Because they feel like they've over communicated themselves enough. They've asked too many times and they don't want to be a burden to you because obviously they feel like a burden now. Now I'm asking you to do too much that you can't obviously do. So I might as well. Sometimes we have to find people outside of ourselves to communicate with. And I'm not talking about just go talk to our friends. I'm talking about us two going to a couples therapy or sitting down with somebody else and letting that person hear how we talk to each other. Because a lot of times we don't think we talk wrong to our partner or people, and we think we're in the right or, this person just not understanding. I say it this way and they just not getting it. And it just takes that other person to say, well, this is all they said. And they like, oh, well, yeah, I got that. I can do that or whatever. Well, why didn't you just say that? It's like, I've been saying that. Sometimes you got to just go. So it just comes back to at the end of it. Like I say, is are we in this together? Because if we're in this together, we need to exercise all of our means outside of everything else that we got going on to make this thing work. And last thought real quick, because it reminded me, and I don't remember if you sent the clip or I seen the clip somewhere else, but it was a pastor had this whole family, a family of 4 come on the stage. And he had told them, place yourselves like y'all taking a picture. The wife was here, the kids was here, the husband was here. And he said, why did y'all sit like that or whatever and stuff like that? Why did y'all get like that? He said, before them kids was there, it was you too. So why are y'all on the outside of the kids? And like, he joked, he said, don't try to rearrange yourselves now, but before them kids was there, it was just you too. So why is there now a distance between you? You start placing things in between the relationship to fill that void of conversation we should be having. We start saying, oh, the kids need this, that. Oh, I got to do this for work. Oh, it's always, I need to do something else, but sit and have that conversation, get back into a place where we started. Get back to knowing sometimes you got to learn how to date all over again, because this might be a new person. They have changed. They have come into their new growth or whatever and stuff. So now I got to take you out on dates and figure out who you are again. See if we can get back aligned. And sometimes that's the fun part of it all, is having that childlike energy to go back on and do a whole bunch of stuff we did in the first place to get each other. If communication was what it was in the first place, why did it stop? If going out and having these little funds and stuff like that, why did the kids make that stop? Why do we start putting all of these little things in the way of the relationship we say we want? We still have to do those little things that got us there in the first place, that got us to that space of love in the first place. And when we stop doing those things, I think that's where we start having the issues, and the person starts falling out of that euphoria stage of love, because that was what was holding them in there. And now we just have a pile stock of problems that we haven't addressed when we should have. And we're fighting every issue at the same time.
You ain't lying, Jay. You ain't lying. Yeah, you ain't lying. Well, listen, we're about to introduce our special guest in a minute or two. And I've got a few different panelists to come through actually today as well, to help us with this conversation. Because I think, like I said, these are me and Jay's is our vehicle. We're driving and we're taking on passengers, each week. So we've got some other passengers that are coming along to help us on our road trip, and discussing real life issues and real life relationship situations. So if you're enjoying the conversation, make sure you guys are liking, you're sharing, you're subscribing, but also share this with some other people. You know what I mean? Like, this is the kind of conversations that help us grow. You know what I mean? It's like, I love talking about TV shows, but I think when we talk about real relationships and bring them into real life about what we're actually experiencing, I think it's so much powerful as well. So make sure if you're here, you're liking, you're sharing, you're subscribing. Maybe next week we'll just do members only live. Just make them members only. You know what I mean? We'll see what I've gone. But I got some wonderful guests to come through today. Okay, all right. Both of them chocolate. Yeah, both of them chocolate.
I'm feeling some type of way right now. I'm gonna have to go get a tan real quick. I'll be right back. No,
you better not. You better not. Sit your ass there.
It's melanin all in the room. I love it though.
Don't worry about it. You already said you're in. Remember? Not out. That's what you said. I've got two amazing guests to come through. You actually know both of them already, so they are wonderful people, and I believe that they're going to really add a unique spin on this particular topic to really help us guide this conversation in a different direction. I know some of the audience too want to join as well. You can join. I'll put a link in the chat in a few minutes time. Please, if you are going to be joining, camera up. If you're not cameraing up, don't come up. Okay, all right. It's not the time to sit behind your camera and whilst we're all got our faces plastered on the screen, if you want to join. But let me welcome my wonderful two guests here. The first one, you know him because his voice precedes him before he even steps on the stage. You know him because when he speaks, your ears hear the vibration and the vibratos before you even get to see any sense. Okay, this is a man who's orgasmic with the verbals. Yeah, see me, I don't put no pause on nothing. You know what I mean? Yeah, I appreciate it, my brother Black. What are you telling me, brother?
Hey, what's going on, Coach? Happy to be here, man. We'll get this thing started, man. So I appreciate being here.
Ooh, let me turn my volume down because you vibrating.
You're trying to break our speakers. Relax. I'll turn the bass all the way down. Okay. And we have another wonderful guest. Sometimes, always, I got a cape on for somebody. You know what I mean? Because I appreciate this person. We have fun, we have banter, we can chop it up, you know what I'm saying to you. Now, she don't be answering my messages while she's at work, but you know what? I'll be appreciating her because she will get back to me after I leave a message after the tone. So I want you guys to be warm and welcome my lovely guest, Deanna, to the stage. How are we doing,
guys? Baby? Hey, Black. Hey, Jay. Hey, Chad.
Yes. It's good to have you here, Diana and Black. Whew. Now, this topic is an interesting topic. Me and Jay have been driving for the last 50 minutes. It's been an interesting drive. We've been talking about this love and talking about falling out of love. I want to ask you two, as you've joined our vehicle and you've got in the back of the car, I want to know your thoughts to this topic. If I say, if you fall out of love, is the relationship over? I want to know your perspective. If you fall out of love, is that relationship over? Now, they say ladies first, so I'm going to let our wonderful guests go first. Diana, is it over if you fall out of love? You're looking lovely, by the way, today.
Thank you. I think it is dependent on the situation. Depends on the history and what y'all got and how strong the bond is. Falling out of love, I think, is something you normally do in the beginning stages anyway. That in love honeymoon type phase, fades, and what you have is like love, like you genuinely love this person. So I think when you have that genuine love for that person, you should work on it. Now, if it's something like new and it's like, oh my God, I'm in love with this person, and after 2 years, it's like, I'm not in love with this person, and then you start to realize all the bad or toxic things that's going on with the situation, I think you should part ways. But to me, it depends on the situation. So
I definitely hear you. Black.
Yeah, I also feel like it depends on the situation. I think that it depends on if someone is out of it. If both parties are out of it, then that's a no-go, right? But if both people want to be there, it is something that can be fixed and can be mended. I'll give an example. So, no, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay.
We can hear you.
I can hear him. I can hear Jay. I can hear Kojo, but I can't hear Black.
Oh,
interesting.
Okay, I'm not sure.
Go. What kind of Wi-Fi you gonna stop?
Can the audience hear? Can the audience hear?
You gonna need me to come around and fix this Wi-Fi. What's going on?
I hear him now.
Oh, you hear him now?
Okay.
Yes, I hear him now.
Yeah.
Oh, it might be a delay.
Yeah, it might be a little bit of a delay. If you're on YouTube and this is going to be a little bit of a delay. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But I was saying it really depends. I'll give an example. If a woman comes to a man and say, hey, you know what, I'm losing interest, I'm falling out of love with you. If she says that to him, there's still a chance, because if she's completely done, she will be gone. She won't have that conversation with him at all. So I think there's an opportunity for him to look inside and see, okay, where did I go wrong? Where did we go wrong? I think that for a man, it's his responsibility to make sure that things stay intact in the relationship. It's both parties, but really it's on that man. So if that woman is actually saying, hey, I want to fix this, I want to work on it, okay, find out what it is. And I think the first place to start in getting back to that love is remembering why you fell in love in the first place. So I think a lot of times we forget where we started, and that can really harm a relationship and damage a relationship. Also, growing apart, finding ways, okay, you're growing this way, I'm growing that way. That could be the reason why you will fall out of love. But at the same time, you can find ways to still get that back. And I think that is something that is attractive about someone who shows that they're not willing to let you go in a respectful, kind way. You know what I'm saying? Like they're still fighting for the love that you guys have. And I think if you see that, you can find your way back. But if your mind is made up, your mind is made up. That's the only thing. If you still want that, you still want to be there, then of course it's very much possible. But outside of that, it makes it really, really hard if someone else is not going to do the work with you. But I think that one of the best ways, in my opinion, is to, I would say, have a specific day of the week that you guys make sure you talk on every week on that day at that particular time. If it's an hour, if it's two hours, whatever have you, you make sure you talk to your partner, get updates, do check-ins. It may be something you said a few days ago and it really ruffled them, a certain kind of way and they need a couple of days to think about it, that day that you choose is a day of understanding. It's a day of listening. You're not cutting each other off. It's an agreement there. You sit down, glass of wine, and really talk it out. And that's what's going to kind of prevent you guys from growing apart. Because you each week you're having those discussions, each week you're having those conversations, and it puts you in a position to understand your partner and the direction that they're growing in, and vice versa for you. So I think the communication aspect of the relationship shouldn't stop with, getting to know you, wanting to court you, wanting to date you. It should really stay there and be continuous week after week, and just check on each other week after week, because a lot can happen in a week that we may not feel comfortable talking about at that time, but give ourselves a few days and we can address it on that special day. But of course, you can still talk through the week.
Appreciate it, Black. You just don't head to the end of the show. You know what I mean? Giving us all the solutions. You want, yeah? You want to take driving wheel? You can take it if you want to take it. Just let me know. Nah, great answers as well. And yes, you're right. I think a day in a week is a very powerful thing to help each couple, to really be able to say how they feel. And also not to impact the relationship as well overall, because otherwise you're having conversations back to back of painful things, and it can be also another thing that can take somebody out of that love feeling as well. So good suggestion. I appreciate that. Well, I've got one more guest to bring on. I had to bring on one more. And me, I'm gonna now have 3 baddies on the stage. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Okay, all right. Me, I like to keep the fine ladies on this platform. You know what I'm saying to you? You know what I mean? Yeah, no offense, Black. Yeah, well, we were hosting the ladies here. You know what I mean? But I've got another guest coming through to our panels. You might have seen her a few days ago when I interviewed her. We sat down, we chopped it up, we had great conversation, and she, brought a light and a warmth as well to the platform. And I want you to welcome Dr. Ariel, baby.
Hi.
Hey.
How are you guys?
We
Wonderful,
are good. Doctor.
Yes.
Doctor. We've got questions for you. Welcome to the vehicle. We're now in a van. We're no longer in a normal 4-seater. So
I'm in an SUV.
Exactly, SUV, right? We need to get your opinion. If you fall out of love, is the relationship over from your perspective?
I was thinking about that. I think it depends on what type of relationship you're in. Because if it's a marriage, I think you have to do your duty to make sure you exhaust everything. But if it's just a relationship to where y'all just started dating, then I don't know if I would just stick around to figure out why you fell out of love and try to wait for you to get it back. Because it could be various reasons on why you fell out of love. And did you communicate that to me, or is it someone else? I think there's a lot of factors that would play into my decision making if I would stick around. Because when you guys thought about this, was it a marriage or was it just a regular relationship?
I mean, I never really asked anybody whether it was a marriage or relationship.
Yeah.
Does that make a difference?
Would it make a difference for you guys if it was just a relationship that you're just dating, you're not engaged?
Depending, if it's brand new, then not really, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's brand new, I ain't even fell in love yet.
Yeah, I'm not.
How invested are we into this?
Okay, so
What are we saying is brand new? What are we saying is brand new? I know I heard you guys say brand new. Oh, just a relationship versus marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. For me, I'm definitely. I'll try them both. You know what I'm saying? Just to see how things are. Now, what I don't agree with is being in a relationship to the point where you're having to seek therapy and go down that aisle before you even get married. It's kind of a tell sign of how things could possibly be. I'm just saying if it gets something kind of toxic involved with it, a little touch up here and there, nothing wrong with that. But I think that you being able to find your ideal person and being able to work out your disagreements together shows more growth and understanding of each other than it would be if you're 9 months in a relationship and now all of a sudden you guys are talking about therapy. It may just not be a good fit. That's my thought.
You know, I kind
I believe it.
of opposite. I think from my previous experiences, being engaged and doing premarital counseling after engagement, hindsight, I wish I did it before. And now moving forward, whenever I'm considering someone for long term, I want to go ahead and have that premarital counseling going, just to identify those key factors and those key issues before jumping into engagement. Because my experience was we had it after, and I was like, dang, we are not aligned. And I wish we wasn't engaged now, because now I feel forced to try to make it work, even though I should have had these conversations before getting engaged to you.
So
I think
question. I'm sorry, not to cut you off. How long was it when you felt like you was unaligned? Like, how long in the relationship did you felt that way? Like, when did you start feeling that way? Where you feel as though you had to take counseling?
After the engagement, and then we did the premarital counseling, and they brought up things that we didn't bring up. So
how long?
You take like compatibility tests, and then they tell you where you are as far as your compatibility, and then what issues you guys are misaligned on.
Okay, got it.
And then we started having those tough conversations, and I was like, oh, we are not on the same page.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting.
But, in Houston, I don't know where you guys are located, but in Houston, the church that I go to, they offer like a marriage conference, and it's for individuals that are seeking marriage with their person. So things like that, I feel like I would take advantage of prior to getting engaged to see if we're on the right path for marriage.
Okay.
Oh yeah, now that I do agree with. I do agree with when the engagement takes place to do the counseling to put the icing on the cake. But what I'm saying that usually, if there are red flags to be seen, you will see those during the relationship if you're really paying attention.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes we get so engulfed in the relationship and being a part of a person's world, and you being a part of theirs, that you don't identify the areas where you need to work. So with doing that, we still kind of rush the marriage. In a sense, so a year, 2 years, that may or may not be enough time for you to really make a determining factor if someone is meant to be your husband or meant to be your wife. It really depends on the things you go through together and what you come out, how you come out. The arguments, they're going to happen, but how do you resolve issues together? So I think if anyone, I'm not saying anyone on the panel, but if anyone is in a relationship and they are looking for it to be perfect and not have any arguments, not have any disagreements, you're fooling yourself. It's going to happen. It's definitely going to happen. Definitely. But that's when I really lean in and really pay closer attention to my partner and how they're wanting to resolve any kind of conflict that we have. The want and desire to do that means a lot to me. If it's a sit back, cross your arms and not say anything, wait for me to respond every time, wait for me to start everything, that to me is like, we're playing games at this point. I need to know what you want me as much as I want you. And as long as that's still there, there's still hope there. There's still going to be something to gain from it. But outside of that, no.
So, these ladies don't know Black's timeline on things. So
yeah,
Black's on a 5-year timeline before marriage.
Okay.
There's time to find out.
Oh, that's a long time.
To see his partner. Okay. Yeah, for those that's on a shorter timeline, you know what I'm saying?
I'm kind of with Black. I ain't gonna lie. Go ahead.
I'm not mad about
5-year timeline.
That's a long time.
You gotta explain that.
Yeah.
Wait. Go.
No, Black. We know about you. Wait.
No.
Dion needs to explain that because we really.
I'm gonna just be honest. I tell my bros, like, if you want to see a person true character, wait 5 years. I feel like people put up a representative of themselves. So you can hold up a representative but so long. If you really want to truly see who that person is, to me, I think 5 years. 5 years is when you really get to see what this person really is about and who their true character is. I'm the type, I don't like holding representative. I don't like putting myself, I like people getting the raw me. This is who I am from the gate. If you can get used to it now, then you get used to it later. But I do tell my guys, like, if you really want to see, her true colors, 5 years is usually, to me, it's like it falls.
To see someone's true colors and determine if you have a future. 5 years in person.
That's what I was going to say. That's a lot of time to put into somebody or whatever.
5 years.
I mean, it makes no difference. You with the person anyway. All of a sudden, you just, getting married and signing a contract and then having kids. It's just, to me, I feel as though what's the rush? If you love that person and you're with that person, you're going to be with that person regardless. So the outside extremities of, the marriage, I get it. You want to get married, but I don't want to get married so quickly to a person and find out I married a nightmare, I don't want to be in that position. So I'd rather take my time, get to know this person and see if I'm really compatible with this person. And I'm not really on a timeline when it comes to like, oh, I got to get married now because of my age. I'm the type, it is what it is. If I get married, I get married. I don't. But I want to make sure I do something that's comfortable for me and not being forced because of some external things.
Now, I'm not mad at the timeline of time because 5 years, 1 year, anything, all of that is penny drop in the bucket to a lifetime. If I'm planning on spending a lifetime with you, that's the least of it. However, I'm going to blend both of y'all things together. Like, I want the time to let my person tell me who they are, but I also want the questions to push some of these conversations to really expose who they are underneath. Because some people could hold a representative all the way until marriage.
That's true.
And
that's true.
Switch on you. You know what I'm saying? And you'd be like, oh, this is a perfect person. And as soon as they sign that paper, it's a whole nother person. You waking up with somebody else. So I would combine the two. If you don't have the 5 years to give, definitely go do the therapy because they're going to ask the questions for you to have the right conversation because we don't know all the questions sometimes to ask the person that we're with. We're just in that euphoria stage. It's, oh my God, you want to go eat somewhere today? You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not asking about your plans or whatever, or what is it you really like in this stuff or whatever. And how kinky are you? Like, we're not asking all of these real questions. But sometimes when you are with people who might know those questions, like she said, those people at the church for her, they're going to know what questions to ask to really probe a person for y'all to really sit down and listen. And they make you listen to the answers that person is giving, not translate how you want to hear them, but actually hear what is being said. So some of us need that extra help as well as the time. So I would encourage people, if they can, do both.
I agree.
You know what? Here's the thing for me, and I think I've said this before, but we forget the second part of this 5 years. 5 years is what I tell anyone who's interested in dating, right? So the 5 years is for this reason. I want to know if you're more concerned with the relationship or if you're more concerned with getting married. Because some people they're just in love with the idea of being married. Now, if you're the woman that I need you to be and that I expect you to be, will you have to wait 5 years? No, you won't have to wait 5 years. But the 5 years is there just to say, okay, are you in this with me for the long haul? Because what I don't want to do is be married in 2 and then divorced in 3. So we got through both of them in 5 years. The same rush you was trying to put on it. Now look where we are. So I think that experiencing things, going through the highs and lows together, it also builds the confidence within the relationship as well. So the longer you're together, the more time you're spending with each other, that makes a huge difference. I think that if you're only seeing your partner once a week or once every 2 weeks and you want to get married in a year, is that really enough foundation for you to say this is the rest of my life with? Because you also have to understand the partner that you have. Marriage is going to be forever. I tell anyone I'm dating, my woman knows that if we get married, we're not getting a divorce. Or I'm gonna make it extremely hard on you to get a divorce. I'm gonna make it extremely hard because my thought is forever. Is forever. If that means ducking and dodging process servers, that means I gotta do what I gotta do. But I want to always be the type of man that is willing to fix whatever is going on in my marriage. And I think that's really important to me. If you fall in love with me, if you're into me more so than actual quote unquote marriage, that means the marriage is going to last. Mm-hmm. So I need for that energy to be in me strongly, and in each other strongly, so we can make sure we put the energy toward the marriage.
Okay, Doctor, 5 years
for me. Yeah, no. It wouldn't like we wouldn't, if I sent him out, we wouldn't be aligned. So that would be a timeline that would be conducive for me. And that's okay. I don't think there's right and wrong. I think there's just what works for you. And that wouldn't work for me.
How long do you feel you need to vet that person for yourself to feel comfortable that you feel like you know that person, for you to feel comfortable?
I think by year 2, you should definitely be able to make a decision if you can see a future with that person or you can't in your life.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're having those real conversations, if you're seeing the way they're moving, if you're seeing how they're living, how they are with your core values, it doesn't take you 5 years to see if that person could be your future partner. In my opinion, it doesn't. And I think if a man told me that, I had to wait 5 years for him to make a decision. We wouldn't progress.
Okay, so different timelines for different people here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm liking it. Okay, different thought processes. Okay, so since we are on different thought processes here as well, with that, I want to ask a question.
Mm-hmm.
We've already talked about a bit about your answering the question about if you fall in love, is a relationship over? I asked Jay earlier on. I want to ask you all: have you ever fallen out of love? And if you have, I mean, we're not asking you to expose anybody. What was the reason for why you fell out of love with that person? If there was a reason, you know what I mean? I would love to know. Doc, I'm gonna go to you first.
Funny enough, my last relationship, I fell out of love with him because and I explained to you how I felt like I didn't have a voice anymore and I didn't feel valued and I didn't like the way he was treating me. And I started to lose love for him and I started to lose respect for him. So I did fall out of love in that relationship and I ended that engagement. Yeah.
Understood. Diana?
I just naturally fell out of love. It wasn't nothing he did. I just didn't feel it anymore. And I tried to work on it myself and it just wasn't there. I just didn't want to be with him anymore. So, and when I knew I wasn't in love with him no more, I just wanted to let him go. It felt better letting him go. I felt better when I let him go. So I knew that wasn't for me. So.
I'm curious, did you tell him?
Yeah, I did. That was the hardest part was to tell him because I tried to stick in there and try to do things to work it out and it just wasn't working. And I was telling him I don't feel this. I feel like I'm in a prison. I don't feel happy to be here anymore. It's once you start feeling like you're no longer comfortable and feel happy, it's it's time for me to go. I can't live my life. Life is short and I can't live it this way. So I felt as though when I let him go, I felt freer. So that's how I knew it was it was definitely time.
I got a question for people after Black goes though.
Oh no, I was gonna say, well, you got me intrigued. So because my heart be feeling this, you just gonna walk up one day and just be like, I ain't feeling this no more.
No,
I need to my heart was like,
you know how you start, it starts falling with the arguments. It's more arguments, more nitpicking and stuff like that. And it's obviously we not on the same page anymore. It's the littlest things you start to see and pick up on. And it's we're not on the same page no more. So you start to realize, all right, am I still in love with this person? Is no, you're not. You love him, but you're not in love with him no more. You're not happy to be around this person no more. You don't even want to come home to this person. You don't even want to talk. When you start to feel like that, it's all right, now I got to let you know, I can't do this anymore. I don't know if we can just take a break and come back and let's see where we are then. But right now, I can't do this. I can't. At first, I love myself first. I put myself, and I guess it sounds selfish, but I love myself enough to not put myself in a miserable situation just on the sake that, I have a partner or I love him and I don't want to see him hurt. I feel as though it's better for me to tell the truth now and let this person go and be free. And who knows, maybe he found another person that's even better than me. So it's I feel as though once I do let them go and they find something happy, I'm also happy too. I don't know if that made sense or not, but yeah.
I mean, so it sounds like there was reasons as to why you just woke up one day and just said no more.
Yeah. It was
it sounded like there's no reason. You just woke up.
No. It was turmoil, and it's I can't. It's starting to feel like prison. I can't do it.
That makes a bit more sense. You know, my heart's quelled a little bit now, you know, because I was thinking, D, me and you, we've been getting along for a long time, but you telling me you just get up one day and be out. You know what I mean?
No. It was definitely led up to.
Okay. I hear you. All right, cool. Black. You ever fall out of love? And was that the 5-year mark or not? Sometimes
I haven't been in a situation where I fallen out of love. Just the way my relationships are structured, I try not to let that happen. So because what I mentioned before about communicating weekly and being open to each other and being vulnerable with each other, I can hear what she's feeling that she doesn't like that I'm doing or I've done that previous week, and I can be able to communicate the things about her or something that she did, and we have that mature conversation about it, right? So when you're able to do that, it makes things stronger. But if it's a situation where I'm no longer interested, that has been a situation like where a breakup occurred and you think that you can fall out of love with that person, but you realize that person is your person. So I've been in that situation where we're both saying, okay, we're done with the relationship, but then we end up understanding that we were meant to be together. And that's currently where I am now. So I would say that for me, never fallen out of love, but I have thought I was done. But they come back, and a resurgence is gonna make us stronger because we both felt it, not just one side. So that's what makes it special.
Go on, Jay. You're gonna ask some question. Ask him a question. Go on.
It's not just for Black, because I was curious because I wanted to ask, do you feel, each of the people on the panel, do you feel like you are the type that falls hard and fast? We know Black clearly ain't. It's gonna take him 5 years, but do you feel like you fall hard and fast, or does it take time for you to work up into that space of being in love?
I think mine is not super slow for some people, because I don't feel that way about a lot of people I date. It'll be like that one person and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm just so into you, and you just feel that instant chemistry, and then you're just like, oh my god, what is going on? I felt that way about someone before, and then other people, it was more of a slow burn. Like it took me some time to build the feelings and build the chemistry and things like that. But I've experienced both.
I would say the same. Well, most of my boyfriend, it was instant. It was definitely instant. The ones that stayed in my life for a long time was definitely a slow burn. It was something like I didn't really, feel it at first, but after a while, I was like, all right, I'm starting to feel it, and I really, really genuinely like this person, and then it grows into something even bigger. So yeah, it was both for me.
All right, so I'm different. I follow love carefully, but if that
is it me?
You turn into a Dalek.
It's like a robot sounding.
You turn into a Dalek. Yeah, you just started doing time machine
and
stuff.
you're paused. Your screen is
your
paused.
voice. Yeah. Oh yeah, you can. Oh, look at that. The pixelation went on.
Teddy Riley said, "Cut the crap."
Ted Riley said, "Listen, cut it. You ain't got 5 years. Cut it."
That's perfectly fine though. That's crazy.
Yeah, we don't see you. Ted Riley said, "Cut that crap. 5 years. Stop it."
I do have a question though, but after he go.
I want Black. I got a question for him too.
Yeah.
Oh, see, you got questions for him? That's right. That's what you should be doing.
Okay.
Wait, are you back, Black?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, bro. No, just pop out and pop back in.
All right.
You pop back in. Right. He'll come back in because I think his connection is just doing a little bit of Ted Riley stuff. Okay. Yes, you. I know you want to ask some questions, so I guess
no, but you, Coach, do you feel like you fall?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Watching us.
You know what's so? You know what's so funny? I think the last two. I was fast. Do you know what? I feel like I've been dragged into all my relationships. I think I'll be talking to someone and I'm not really 100%. I don't know what I'm feeling them. I'm attracted, but I'm not really sure. And then the person will just like, so what are we? And then I'm like, well, you know what? I've been talking for a little while. Okay, let's just make it official. You know what I mean? I know it sounds really bad, but it's like I almost find myself in a relationship. Like, you know what I mean? I'm now there. Do you know what I mean?
That sounds kind of bad, though. I ain't gonna hold you.
It does.
It is bad.
So bad.
You didn't make the choice.
It is bad.
Yeah, you didn't choose.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
And it shows, right? Because those relationships, I mean, they were, the one was 10 months, one was 2.5 years, but it was never right. I knew I was not in alignment. You know what I'm saying, Chu? I knew I wasn't in alignment in that space. I think it was only my first ever girlfriend that actually generally went forward and said, be my girlfriend. But yeah, no, do I fall fast? I think I do fall fast. I'm a person that I like chemistry. I like conversation. And I like being able to get to know the person. So I'm a fast faller. I'm a lover boy. I can't lie to you. I'm a lover boy. Yeah, through and through. I try to just hide it, but I'm a lover boy. Yeah, I'm a lover boy. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm a fast faller. Can't hate on that one. Black, they still got questions for you, Black.
Okay. I'm all ears.
The ladies have said they have questions for you, Black. Doctor, you have a question, and then Deanna will have a question too.
Mine is more out of my curiosity. So now that you said that this person is your person, right?
I think I know what this is getting.
She acknowledged it exactly. And I don't know what the timeline where y'all at on this timeline. But if you are aware that this is your person, are you still holding her to this 5 years?
I will say this: no, no, I'm not.
Good.
No.
Good.
Yeah.
No, why are you not saying good?
Good. Yeah, because he
That's
found
my
his
point.
person.
Don't make her suffer.
That's how he gonna make mistakes.
That was my whole point. You can't just put someone.
He's
at a
betraying
timeline
himself.
and
He's betraying
know that
himself
you're
now.
person. Yeah.
What? Wait. Well, let me let Jonah ask a question. Jonah, ask your question.
My question, actually, I guess it's for everybody. Do you depend on your partner to make you happy? Like, do you solely depend on your partner to fulfill all your needs and make you happy?
No.
Okay.
No. I think I made that mistake before, thinking that that was their job to do, but I don't think it is. I think we have to be happy within ourselves, but I'm also a firm believer that you should be meeting your partner's needs. So whether we want to call that happy or not, but I think we should be meeting our needs. And when someone says that their needs are not being met, I want to know, do you care to meet them? Because I meet my partner's need. Like, I strive to do that because that makes me happy to make you happy, you know? So I do look for that if my needs are not being met.
I personally, I study my partner. I study them down to a T where I know what my partner needs. So if I'm happy, of course my partner's going to be happy because I'm making sure that I'm paying attention well enough where nothing is lacking. I feel as though, I guess we get to a point where we're not happy, which is true because, you know, when your cup is not full, how you expect to fill somebody else's. But when I'm not happy, I'm no longer paying attention to my partner's needs. I'm now trying to pay attention to my needs. But when we do fall into that type of pattern, do your partner expect, so you're so used to filling your partner's needs. Once you stop, it's kind of like handicapping. So it's like, do your partner now like feel some type of way or start to resent you because they're so used to you filling their needs without asking? But once you start falling short and trying to fulfill your own needs, it's like, okay, now when you get to that path in a road, what do you feel as though should happen? That's.
You think it can coexist though? Do you think it has to be one or the other?
I think it can coexist. Have I seen it for myself? No.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it can exist, but I haven't seen it because everybody's different. I really pay attention to detail. I really analyze. I really read. Like I know. But if I'm in a state where it's like, okay, I got to focus on getting myself better, I'm not really trying to reach out to my partner to fulfill that because I really think I feel as though everybody should fill their own cup. But hey, that's just me personally, not a popular opinion. But, you know, but if you do have that partner that you love and you got differences and they don't, you know, see or analyze in that way, it's like, all right, now this partner is feeling some type of way because they feel as though I'm selfish and I'm trying to repair myself. So, you don't, it's rare that you come across people that's on that same page. So I'm asking, like, once you get to that fork in the road, what do you feel as though should proceed?
So I'll say this. One, I'm a reciprocal type person. I mirror your energy or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Hypothetical, not counting our sex or anything like this right now. If you and I were in a relationship and you were showering me with your happiness, so to speak, you know what I'm saying? I in return will shower you back with it. The day I see you stop is the day I'm going to ask what happened. What's wrong? I'm going to start checking in with you. And that's what I feel like. If a person wants to be your person and they're there in the relationship aligned with you, they're going to notice why you stopped showering and start asking what's wrong with you. Not, it shouldn't be like, if we're both being selfless people in this relationship, I know when you pull back. I know when you feel some type of way, because I could feel all of that. I know when you're not happy anymore because you're not doing the things that make you happy. That makes me happy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I have to check in with you, and then I have to check in with myself. Did I stop doing something?
Okay.
Did I stop showing her something somewhere down the line or whatever the case may be? And, when it comes to the relationship, what did I stop doing to him? When did we stop communicating on the things, you know what I'm saying? Like Black says with the check-ins, when did we stop doing the check-ins? Because I missed something. My baby not happy. Yeah. Why my baby not happy? You know what I'm saying? And I'm a firm believer that my happiness is up to me. Emotions is personal. My happiness is up to me. However, I do expect, and I don't have much expectation for my partner, but I do expect them to either maintain my happiness at the least or increase it. Once it starts going down a certain level where I have to start fighting to get it back up, we have a problem. Because I walked into this relationship on a certain happiness. And I didn't ask you for any of that. I didn't need you to fulfill anything like that or whatever and stuff. That was me. But you started taking away from that. Mm-hmm. And I don't see you recycling or putting back into that. You're not investing back into this relationship the way I need you to. So now I have to check myself out, because this is now, you're just now depleting, you're turning into a black hole. I'm just giving you all my happiness and you're just sucking it all up. Mm-hmm. I'm running around depressed with an attitude with everybody in the world. And I don't know why or whatever, because I wasn't this before.
Yeah.
And I was in a relationship with that was a black hole like that. And it was like my family and stuff is like, you're just so mean. And I didn't realize I was so mean to everybody, but it was because that person was sucking up all that good energy out of me that everybody else was getting the lash out. Mm-hmm. So, once I checked out of that relationship, it was a whole different story, you know what I'm saying? Because I started fulfilling my happiness. But like you said, I was trying to put so much into that, thinking that would make me happy, not realizing, no, what makes me happy is doing what I need to do for myself. And any overflow they can get.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so do I think the question was, do I think that I'm supposed to have be that person's happiness or make that person happy? Mm-hmm. I don't think I'm supposed to make my partner happy. I think my personal job, is to add to her happiness. I don't say match, because if I'm matching it, then where's the real value in that? So I try to increase her happiness, try to fill in voids that I may pay attention to and notice this in her life, in her world. And by doing that, it allows her to see the value in me, in a sense of knowing I'll be there, I'm dependable, I can find things that's going on and I'm paying attention. It's my experience that women love when you pay attention to small things, big things, everything in between.
Definitely.
So if I'm paying attention to what her wants and needs are and addressing those wants and needs, then she knows she can depend on me. And likewise, if she's doing the same thing for me, then that's what makes a relationship a good, solid relationship. Not just material, but emotional needs and the need to connect and communicate. All of those have to be in the equation as well. I'll give you guys an example of something that I did like, but some people may like, really? Well, why? Okay, so her laptop is on its last leg, right? I said, okay, put your shoes on. Let's go get you another laptop because you need a laptop. Her response was, it's still working. I'm good. It's still working. Now, someone else will look at that and be like, you know what? Why didn't you just want to get a laptop? But I like the fact that she said it's still working, because it was still working. I personally didn't like the way it looked. I felt like she deserved something better, you know.
Nice.
But that's my thought. And I think a lot of times that's an example I use also to go to stop thinking that as a man, stop thinking we can come in and resolve everything. We have to listen to our partner, because I could have bought her another laptop, but would she have appreciated that the same way if she said, okay, let's go ahead and go together, or she gave in to what I said? So I'm going to do things her way because it's her laptop, you know. So, and I bought her that one too. So about two. So that do things her way because that's what she wants. So I said it to say that it's not about me being the one that's making her happy, but just increasing her levels.
Nice.
All right, well, I hear it. Sisters out here getting laptops. So you know what I mean? Careful now, Corey. You're gonna sell yourself too well. You know, all this gonna come and collect you. Calm it down. You know what I mean? Nah, good points. I'm definitely hearing you. And I think for me personally, yes, I don't believe you are to be that person's happiness. You are to add to the happiness, as Corey has put it. And I do think that's a great way of putting it. But you know, I think for me also, and this is something I'm learning to do a bit more and be more conscious of. I know with my attachment style, I do learn people. I learn patterns. I learn routines. I learn your likes, dislikes, and etc. And some of it is rooted in me generally caring about you and wanting you to flourish and to win. I'm also becoming aware that there's also a fear aspect sometimes of the intensity of how we learn people's routines, what they do, etc., etc. The fear of rejection, abandonment, and betrayal are actually also motivations sometimes as to why we learn people's behaviors, right? Or learn their patterns in a way. So an example as what you just gave there, Black. I remember I had a situation with a young lady where I noticed, but there was a situation where we had where it was, I think, Valentine's Day, and I was like, oh, like, yo, I'll send you flowers to your work. And she's like, I don't really do the public PDA. But you know the ones where you start listening, but you're like, are you sure you don't? My brain was like, I don't know. My brain, like, is what Corey was saying. It's like, I had to check myself. I was about to send it anyway. I was like, no, yeah, no, you probably do like it because I know that. You say you don't like it, but I also had to respect the fact that regardless of whether I think she might be telling me the truth or not, makes no difference. Once she's told me that's not what she wants, I now have to take that step back. Because sometimes when you learn people's patterns, you also go, I know you don't want me to do it because I know how you are. I'm not pushing you anymore. You know when someone says, oh, no, I don't want to, no, because I don't want to be a bother. Yeah, if you don't want to be a bother, I'm not doing it. And this is the reason why I'm saying that is because we have to start saying what we actually want. I can play that game. I have played that game. And many times I've done it myself. So no one's exempt from it. But that game where you're like, no, it's cool. No, it's not cool. Because if you want it or you don't want it. Because right now we need to, you know what I mean? Like, because what ends up happening is you do start filling in gaps, which then, yeah, at first it sounds good, but actually it starts teaching you not to communicate. You know, it starts teaching another person to expect the unexpected and really and truly, some of that is not possible in the long term, right? You know what I mean? Like, yes, I should pay attention. If Jay comes in the room and she's looking down, or Doctor comes in the room and the energy's a little bit down, or D comes in the room, yeah, I can pay attention to those things and I can ask you, how are you doing? And I can make sure that I'm asking some right questions. But if you say you're good and I keep pushing, I'm actually really saying that your boundaries are not important to me. And so sometimes you have to also honor that the person, even if you can see that that's not what they're saying, you have to honor that so that you can also say, because I respect your boundaries. Now your partner might come back to you and be like, why didn't you push harder? Hey, I don't push beyond people's boundaries. I respect yours and I respect mine. So I want you to understand. And that's something that I learned recently as well. And I was like, because it's when you've got that trauma, you tend to, like, we've all done it, and I'm sure we're all like the same way. Someone says they're not good, and we keep pushing to say they're okay. And it was like, yeah, they do tell us, they spill everything. But actually, really and truly, you're putting me in a position where now I have to break boundaries. And in reality, you're not actually learning either, because you're not learning to also speak up that you need this thing. If I've asked you, how are you doing? I've done it once. Okay. I've done it twice. If I do it a third time, it's like, you're I'm not saying that it's wrong completely, but I'm saying to you, there's an area of growth that we can evolve into where we can start saying, actually, this is what I want. This is what I need from you. Because we're talking about falling out of love. That's how you fall out. That's partly one of the ways you fall out of love, when people don't have silent expectations, but then there's very loud actions. It's like, you ain't even told me that you're not feeling this, but now all of a sudden, boom, situation. How do you ladies and gents feel about that? You know, do you why you why are you raising your face like that?
Because it's like, I don't know if you, because it's basically what I said in one of my YouTube. I said, you know, I'll tell you once. I told you the first time. The second time, I'm not saying anything, and then the third time, I go ghost, because I feel as though if I told you once, right, and you still repeat it, I feel as though if you repeat it again, that's just your pattern. That's who you are. That's just what you do. So at this point, I don't feel as though I need to go back and forth and tell you about it, because at the end of the day, I'm still going to lose, because I'm pretty sure this person is still going to have this pattern. This is who this person is. And I said that I don't like telling people to compromise themselves or change themselves because it's something that I don't like about them. I feel as though if I can't tolerate it, then I need to leave them alone. I hate when people try to like change somebody because it's something they're doing that they don't like. And it's like, you shouldn't change. To me, that starts resentment. It starts to be like, oh, you know, I got to tippy toe around this person. I got to, you know, act a certain way around this person. So yeah. And when you said that, you know, she's not telling me, it's kind of, I laugh, because it's like, you know, I'm going to tell you the first time, but after that, you still do it. And that's ball on you.
See, there's a little tricky fine line with that too, though, because, and I'm in the same way with you, where it's like, I don't want a person to change themselves for me.
Mm-hmm.
However, I still need some change. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, if I tell you something, I'm telling you because I want you, low key, I want you to change something because I want you to do it. And so I've gotten into a space, is like, I have to tell you because I need you to stop or start doing whatever this is. But are you capable? Is my actual question to the person, is like, are you actually capable of doing this stuff? Because I can ask you to do it, and it's just not something in you that is feasible or whatever. And then I have to make that move, like, okay, I can't live or tolerate or whatever and stuff, because when I feel like I'm tolerating something, I'm not living at my fullest either. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I'm compromising. So I have this little thing too, is like, I use an example for it. I don't like cigarette smoke, but if you're a cigarette smoker and I met you and that's what you are, I would just be like, around me, could you not do it? Because that, at least for me, show me that you have some care for my boundaries and my well-being or whatever stuff, or something for me. But I don't need you to necessarily go to rehab or stop doing it, because it's still a comfort for you for whatever reason, you know what I'm saying? So it's a mutual respect when it comes back and forth. It's like, you respect my space enough not to do it, and I respect you enough not to make you stop doing it for me.
Question though, if you knew they're a cigarette smoker, will you like start like dealing with them?
I have.
Okay.
Don't ask me. Okay,
because I'm like, if I don't like cigarette smoking, he smokes. I'm like, that's a no for me.
It's literally a no, because I have
that's a no for me.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like,
now, if I see him on the street just smoking a cigarette, I probably wouldn't approach him. But it's because of where the setting. Okay, so the example, the setting I met this person was on the basketball court. So of course I ain't about to be smoking no cigarettes on the basketball court. And it's something I found out later on. But it was something like, you know, they asked me, can I smoke here in my house one time? And I'm like, oh no, baby. We can't have that. But I know you need your cigarettes. So if you need to be hanging out the window, that's what you're going to have to do. Can you hold off a couple of hours until you go home or something?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna have my house smelling like that.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But like, if I know you are like, seriously know that that's what you do, cool, we can be friends or whatever. But I probably, long term, that's not something.
Oh, 1 second.
Because I know when it comes to cigarette smoke, you want to do it wherever you want to do it at, and so that one might be a hard deal breaker. But I just use that as an example because it's something that other people understand. Yes, it's a deal breaker. African gonna hold me accountable, baby. It's a deal breaker.
Here it is a deal breaker. Doc, so in regards to what we're talking about, you know, mind reading. That's what they call it, mind reading. You know, my question is one on my head. I was going to talk about mind reading. The question was just there a second ago. Okay, so talking about mind reading, it'll come to me when I start talking. Yeah, talking about mind reading. For you know, being in a situation where you're someone who learns people's patterns, you learn what they need, what they want as well. How well versed are you, would you say, with also sharing what you need in a relationship with an individual or a person as well? And I'll ask Jay that question too.
I'm probably an over communicator.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, as I'm getting older and having more experiencing with dating, I think it's just a disservice to not express things that don't work for you. You know, I've told people in dating, I was like, you know, I don't like the way you're dating me. Or I don't like that we don't talk enough. Or I don't like that you don't reply, you know, in 2 days, because that's not what I'm looking for. So I think I'm becoming more comfortable with expressing my needs, because I don't want to be the person to ghost someone. I think it's hurtful, and I think I would feel bad that I didn't communicate to you why we weren't a match, and I ended up just stop communicating. So I thought maybe for my maturity, my emotional maturity, I should be able to verbalize why things are not working for me. So I'm being more intentional about having those conversations with people.
Yeah. I like that. Mind reading. It's not easy. Okay. Yeah. I'm definitely hearing you. And that's where we're coming to the end of our car journey very soon as well. In the next few minutes. You know, I have another question for you. So is it, I mean, I guess obviously it's gonna be interesting. Black's not here. I would have definitely asked him. Falling out of love. Do you think it's different for the ladies than it is for the men?
Ooh,
I
that's
do.
the question I wanted to ask too.
Mhm.
While you had
Oh, the question was us.
That's what while the man was here,
My
but
bad.
Yeah.
he jumped out real quick on purpose.
Yeah. He said he ain't got 5 years this time, so he gonna sort it out.
Good for him.
Would we think that it's different from your perspective? Do you think it's different that how we fall out of love?
That'd be a question for
I can only
Toby.
talk for me. I don't know. I feel like mine would be a deeper reason. It wouldn't be superficial. It would be something that really bothers me, that I've exhausted everything. And now I fell out of love. For me, as a woman. I don't know how men think. I don't know if it would have to be that deep. I don't know if that just be, because when I think about men, I feel like it's situational. Like you can be, your mom dies and then you get ghosts. Like how men deal with conflict is different from how we deal with conflict. And from my experience, when something happens to a man, he's not the strongest in communicating, and he tends to put up a wall and let that relationship dissolve without communicating. But with women, we like overly communicate to you how we're feeling, and we keep telling you over and over, hey, I'm not happy here. I'm not happy. I'm not happy. And then finally we're like, hey, we're done. But I don't know if I get that in return from men.
Why do you think that the men don't listen? I know I'm the man. I'm not the man, but I'm genuinely wondering, like, why do you think that these men don't listen?
I don't know.
I'm an alien.
Tell us.
So.
I know, right? Do y'all not take us serious? Because that's how I take it. I'm like, maybe they think the complaints aren't that level of seriousness.
And that can be true.
When I talk to guys, they're like, oh, I didn't know you was that mad. I'm like,
yeah.
I told you I was that mad.
Yeah. I to me, from my experience, I think that's true, because as women, we are very emotional, and we do like over exaggerate or dramatize things. So I think for men, it's like, oh, it's not that serious. But to us, it's like, yeah, it's the end of the world. It's like, yeah, it's really serious. But to them, it's like, you got to really penetrate it to them. Where it's like, yeah, I'm serious. And then that's when they'll like have the urge to change. I mean, I could be wrong, Kojo, you could let me know. But I think from being around men and seeing their complaints of what's going on in their household and hearing them talk, and it's like, you know, some of it'd be like, you know, okay, sounds like somebody's over emotional or they really got a legit problem with something. So I think to me, when it comes to men, I don't think they take it serious unless we penetrate it into them. So.
So to first answer your question, Coach, I think men and women both fall out of love for the same reasons, but react differently. I feel, and this is from speaking to a lot of my boys too, and my dad and uncles and stuff, I feel like when y'all fall out of love, it's almost like immediate and it's over.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's to the point, almost to the point. If she cheat on me, yeah, that's it, done. Y'all be like, yeah, no.
I don't think I ever heard a man getting them back.
Yeah, it ain't no coming back, and that's probably because I've never experienced a man who's actually told me he was in love with somebody or even with me like that, like, you know, that part or whatever and stuff like that. So I don't know how they would be in the in love phase of it. But I know for me in the in love phase is when I'm falling out of that space is I don't want it to go. So I'm still holding a window.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I need you to just fix these things in this window. Please fix it in this window before I get to the annoy phase. And when you in the annoy phase with me, I'm like a man. Then it's like, baby, yeah, nah, ain't no coming back from there and stuff like. So it's for me, it's just trying to hold that space for you to work on that thing. And I'm working on the capacity of trying to hold it longer, but sometimes it's because, like Doc said, we've been saying things for so long and I needed you to get it then. Now that we're in this emergency phase and you're still not getting it, I don't have time anymore. I've completely exhausted all of me trying to fight this relationship, and I just feel like you're fighting against me at every single turn. So white flag up, I'm done, we're good. You know what I'm saying? I can't one conquest I can't take on like anymore, you know what I'm saying? So I think, like, for me, it's the hardest phase is just like that complete turn off once I actually have been in love with you. Like, I can love you and fall back quick. I can do all that. But once I hit that in love with you, it's like, dang, I already seen the future. I seen all of this stuff like that. I'm trying to hold on to it. Even if it's a fantasy, even if we're not aligned and stuff like that, I'm trying to hold on to that and be like, how do we get there? How do we get back there? And I think I might communicate the most. And going back to something Doc said earlier too, I think, and to answer that other part of your question, Coach, on why men don't hear us when we say it, sometimes it's the way we're saying things. We might not realize it in the moment because we're passionate, we're feeling our some type of way, we're in our feelings, we're in our emotions, and we don't realize the word choice we might use, the tone we might use, that may be a bit off-putting to that person or whatnot. And Coach, we had a situation where I had to talk and I had to come back and I had to tell the person, hey, listen, it's actually not you. I'm just trying to tell you how I am personally feeling right now. And I just need you to hear me out so you don't feel like you're being attacked, because I know once I start saying this, it's going to come off as an attack, but I'm not trying to actually attack you. I just need you to hear what I'm saying to see if you can make the changes or, you know, do whatever it is that you need to do on your end to correct this situation. Because before then it was just like, I just need this done. I need this, I need that, I need this. But the words that I had were very limited in that space. And it still wasn't giving them a full definition of what it is I'm asking them to do. So they were just in a limbo of confusion because it's like, I'm doing what I think you asked me or whatever and stuff. And it is like, no, you're not. You're just making me more mad. Like, so it was just finding that time, that space, and the words and the tone to actually relay the message and stuff sometimes.
Yeah. Kojo?
It's interesting. I'm trying to think about some moments in the past of, and I guess this moment more I had it's funny actually. The middle relationship is where I saw this happen rather than actually my first or my last. It's hard to solve issues that you're bringing up that require a certain tool that we don't necessarily might not have at that point in time, right? So let's say, for instance, you're saying to me, hey, like, you don't spend enough time with me, right? In my head, I can't lie to you, I'm not hearing that, bro. I'm not hearing that. I don't know what it is. Like, and when I say that, I'm saying that from a perspective of a time period in my life, not now. Now I would ask a qualifying question. Now I'm gonna ask, what does that look like when you say spend more time? How much time do you need to spend with you? Because I also need to be able to aware that to see where we can meet the objective. But just giving that example, like, oh, I want to spend more time with you. I can honestly tell you, at a period of time in my life, at one point, I'd have been like, no, no. What are you saying? You know what I mean? One, because I'm probably a bit selfish.
I was about to say why.
I think because, again, everyone, you were kind of touching on this, Diana.
Yeah.
Because my plate is empty and it's not full, and you're taking the last crumbs off that plate. You're asking for a change of me, and I have not got anything left at this moment to make that change.
Okay.
So when you're asking me, I do hear it, but I'm looking at my plate and I'm going, I can't do nothing about it. So I'm just going to ignore this stuff. And then maybe I'll revisit it when my plate becomes full. The problem is I've forgotten what you said. So I can't even come back to it. You get what I'm saying to you? It's not on my mind anymore. And there are other things that are happening that are going to take from the plate again when it's full. So by the time I get round to your thing, I'm like, it's not that important because she ain't really, I know she's asked me 2 or 3 times, but she'll be all right. She's still in a relationship. She's cool. You know what I mean? Because what you're asking for is an emotional solution. And
why didn't you tell her right then and there?
Tools. I don't have the tools because you're asking for an emotional solution. I don't have the tools for an emotional solution.
Did you tell her?
No, because I didn't have the emotional capacity.
Okay.
So I can't even comprehend what you're saying. Like, it's like you're speaking Japanese to me. So I'm picking up some of the words, but most of it I've missed it.
But my thing is, you just said if she asks for more time and you said I'm not going to do it. Why don't you just tell her I'm not going to do it? Like, why?
I don't have the capacity. I don't have the capacity.
Is that an excuse though?
No, it's a reason. I don't have the capacity. I'm not equipped enough. I'm not saying you should stay with me. I'm saying you should leave me. I'm saying to you, I'm not saying you should stay. I'm saying you should be gone. I'm saying to you that the men that are doing this actually don't have the capacity. Like, okay, if I know how to do something, then I have 2 choices. I'm either doing it intentionally because I hate you, or I genuinely, I have the capacity, but maybe right now time is not going great. But then I would communicate that to you. Right?
But that's the part. Like, why can't you communicate that? I don't understand that.
Because I don't have the capacity to even communicate that part.
He didn't have the skill set to.
I don't have the skill set.
You can't say I don't have the time right now to give you. You can't say that.
No, because again,
oh my God, are you serious?
I'm being very serious. And that's when I'm talking about. You see, when you're dealing with a certain limited scope of man, this is what happens.
Okay.
Right? You at that point in time, emotionally, because you're actually asking an emotional question. You're not asking, like, if you say to me, "Hey, I need £100." That's not an emotional question for me. That's a fiscal issue. Okay, here's £100. I need to sort that out. Boom, boom, boom. I can figure that out. But you're asking an emotional question when I'm not well equipped in the emotional space to be able to handle that question. So right now, it's out of my perimeter. I'm hearing you, but I'm not even understanding what you're saying. Like, I can hear you, but I'm not deep in what you're really saying. It doesn't make sense to me.
I never thought of it that way ever.
Yeah.
I'm limited in my scope
different view.
Skills. Yes.
But only helpful now that you're aware, you're self-aware, and you're able to communicate. But back then, that wasn't helpful for who you're dating, because we're like, dang, you can't even tell me why.
Yeah, like I would think that's something like that is so simple to do.
We think it's simple.
Yeah.
A lot of guys don't have that emotional maturity or self-awareness to even communicate to us why they're lacking and not meeting our needs.
We forget we got
Yeah.
girlfriends. We talk, we check in, we do all those things. Guys don't necessarily do that when they are with each other. They're not, hey, bro, how you really feeling? Like, what's really going on? It's a whole bunch of other things that they talk about before they get into any of that part of it.
Yeah.
A lot of
And then,
times.
so I
I'm
was
keep it a
sharing with
bean. Okay.
I was sharing with him the other day, and I'm gonna tell them. So I was telling him about me dating now, right? And
Mhm.
what my struggles are. And it's so simple, I think. But I'm encountering the same thing with different men. So, and these are like early conversations.
Uh-huh.
I get on the phone or even in person. The guy does not ask me one thing about me. They will just keep talking and talking and talking about themselves. And I told him, he asked me, he was like, so he was like,
I'd be like, click.
so do you just allow them to keep talking? I said, yeah, and I do follow-up questions. And he's like, that's the problem.
You're making them
Egging it
comfortable.
on.
I'm egging it on.
Yes.
And then he told me, he was like, well, the next conversation, tell them that, hey, in the last conversation, I don't feel like you asked a lot about me, but in this conversation, I would appreciate you really trying to be more intentional about getting to know me. And
Okay.
I never did that before.
Yeah,
But I would leave that conversation and be like, I ain't talking to them again.
I hear it. It's the next person.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna get the best. The next person gonna get it.
Man still running up to you, wondering why y'all ain't talking.
But to them, they not doing nothing wrong. They think
Yeah.
they me.
But that's a man that's limited in see, that's a perfect example of a man that's limited in capacity. Not like it's not going to change. So if you end up dating him, that's what you're, do you know what I mean? Like he's limited in that capacity. Like for instance, when I say about that situation where I couldn't respond very well, that same woman that I couldn't respond to, our whole relationship started with lust. It started with sex. Like it was purely sex. And then it was like, okay, are we gonna make it work? All right, we're gonna make it work. You know what I'm saying to you? And then so I was in that space where I couldn't even give you that if I really wanted to, right? It's not her fault. I'm just saying me, I have to take ownership of that. But that's that space I was in, I couldn't even communicate some of those things. I was using sex as a way to communicate, and she was doing the same thing because all we were doing was sleeping with each other. You know, so a lot of the times when, and I remember this specific situation, this how I know that it really does the cognitive dissonance actually really does happen. She was saying to me, one of the issues she had was at this time when I was probably a bit much more younger, she's like she wanted to go out to different places. Bro, I swear I heard what she said, but my brain honestly my brain heard it, but it didn't register. Right, it didn't register. Like I heard it, it's there, but it's not registering. So I remember, I think we went to, and it was a random day. I met her after work, and we went to this place. There's like a hidden court. So basically, these buildings used to be old courts. So we ended up going into the building, and this person showed us around. It was like courts, and she's like, "I really love this. Like, I want to do more of this stuff." And in my brain, I was like, "Huh? What do you mean?" Like, honestly, like my brain was catching up. Like, what? So when I say that, men are sometimes in a certain space of being limited in capacity. I was limited in capacity. If she left, she had every right, because I was limited in skill and limited in understanding to be able to respond accordingly to your needs in that space. I implore every woman that if that man can't respond to you on those simple things like, hey, I want to spend more time, and they're like, yeah, but at that point, bro, he ain't the one for you, because he hasn't got the capacity to do it for you. You know what I mean? Like, I know it sounds wild, but yeah.
No, it makes sense now. It makes total sense now. Yeah.
Okay.
That makes total sense.
I was about to say it's the reverse of you and Hussein.
Yeah. I had the limited capacity. I couldn't give it to him. I just had the limited capacity.
And that's okay. You knew your limits.
You got two good hours. That's it.
Yeah, limited capacity. I think I'm gonna use that. That's kind of toxic, but no, I'm not gonna use that. But yeah.
No, I think it's good. You should be able to use the capacity. You know,
it's not toxic. It might be true.
Like, yeah, it's just weird hearing, the guys' complaints and, females thinking differently, and then males, you got to really penetrate it. And then hearing the details of it saying, oh, no, he's just limited. It's like, okay, that makes total sense now. Now I get to a better, deeper understanding why some men cannot just say like what it is. They just, you know, narrow, and I get it now. So thank you.
Right. we lack the language and we lack the language, and we lack the confidence to be able to start picking up the language. You know what I'm saying to you? So it's like difficult at those points, right? So like if you're saying, let's say you want to go out more. Yes, go for it.
Is it really was it?
Ask it.
Or did you just not like her like that? Because I feel as though some men is different with women. Like women they really like, it's like they go to the moon for. And then other women is like, yeah, okay, whatever, I hear you. Like, is it really?
Partly. I mean, partly, yes. I mean, imagine if you have to learn a language because you like the guy that you like also speaks that language. You're going to be motivated to speak that language a bit more. Absolutely. There is that part. The other part is, though, that in order to do the action is actually an emotional action. So like for me to go and plan a date for you, it's not physical. The physical aspect of me planning a date, yes, go and click, The motivation to move is emotional. And so if I haven't figured out how I feel, and I'm blocking at you because also at the same time, when you're bringing your emotions to me, it's actually too heavy because I can't even figure out my own, that motion of me wanting to plan a date doesn't come through because I can't even understand the motivation as to why I don't want to do it. I just don't want to do it. Do you know what I mean? So let me give you an example. So let's say, for instance, you're right. Like you said to me, Coach, I want to go on more dates.
Yeah.
Right. My brain goes, okay, do you have money? That's the first thing he's asking. Do you have money? First thing you ask is, do you have money? You have money? Okay, you have money. Okay. The second thing is then, okay, how do I feel? Even though I'm asking how I feel, it's not the way that you guys, ladies, will ask it. So when I'm asking how do I feel, it's more like, do I want to? It's not really, because again, when you're limited in language, all you're ever asking is, that's why you only hear men say, I feel disrespected. What does that even mean? Right. I know it's an emotion and feeling, but he has a range of emotions. He's not able to go through the range. He'll just tell you everything's disrespect. So if you shout, it's disrespect. If you walk past him, disrespect. There's no other emotions. So is there no other emotions that you feel, bro? No, because he hasn't got any other language in that space. So when he's not aware of the fact that he lacks language, he does actions that proceed out of the emotion, but does not know how to be able to label it correctly. So when I want to plan a date, maybe I want to tell you that actually I'm feeling a little bit disconnected from you. And that's why I don't want to plan a date. But I ain't going to tell you that because I don't even know to even tell you that I feel disconnected. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't want to do anything. Well, actually the reality is, bro, no, you're probably pissed off at her. You're probably upset by her. You need to be vulnerable enough to be able to say it. Can't say it. Don't have the language to be able to say it. Don't want another argument. If I do say I'm upset with you, okay, I'm just going to avoid it all. And then what happens is you suppress that whole thought process and it just becomes, I'm not doing it.
And see, part of me was thinking that I don't want to do it or I'm not going to do it is because I don't want to have the argumentative conversation because I don't have the tools there either. To go back and forth with you on why it is I don't want to do it or can't do it.
I kind of low key feel like y'all judging me, but
no. This is from what I heard from Coach when he said why he didn't want to do it. It was here. I didn't want to have this argument. I don't want to have.
I don't like arguing either. I'm not a back and forth type person.
Well, it's not even I just feel like from a woman, it's gonna be like, why you don't want to do it, but it's the whole discussion behind it, really. It's not the argument, but it's going to lead. But sometimes
settle because they can't explain it to you.
Yeah, then that's the thing too. If he doesn't have the capacity to explain it to you, he's not going to want to. So it's just immediate shutdown, cut it off before we even get there. Type situation and stuff. That's what I kind of like was picking up from Coach too. It's like, before I have to explain why. Let me just know. No. Flat out, not gonna do it.
Becomes long. Before it becomes long, I'll just. And
it's not making it better, but
it really isn't. It actually makes it worse. We're avoiding the scenario, which is gonna make it worse. It's totally counterintuitive. And I think because a lot of those men who are doing that, they're avoidance. So it's like we also, and this is our projection. If I tell you you're not gonna accept my answer, what you're gonna do is you're gonna manipulate me. So if I can't say no, I'd rather not even say no. I'd rather just not have the conversation. So like, for instance, let's say you do ask me, I say, I want to go on dates more. Let's say I am feeling a bit pinched at the pockets. I'm not going to tell you I'm pinching the pockets, because I don't want to have a conversation with you, and I don't want you to tell me that you feel sad, you feel upset, you feel this way, because it feels like you're going to only tell me how you feel, and if I tell you how I feel, it doesn't matter. So there's actually an archetype of men. It's not all men. It's an archetype of man who hasn't got himself to a place where he's able to be comfortable with there being discomfort in that we might have different feelings at this point in time, or being okay with the fact that you might be upset. And it doesn't mean that you're now about to abandon me or reject me or be, you know what I'm saying to you. I can hold space for the fact you might be angry at the fact that we didn't go on a date. And I'll be like, I can understand why you did. I can understand why you're angry. But when you're not mature in that space, I'm only thinking about me in that moment. Like, if I tell you this, no, like, she might not say anything right now, but she might have an attitude later on. If I tell her no, sex can be off the table. If I tell her no, she ain't cooking the meal tonight. If I tell her no, there's some kind of repercussion we feel is going to come, right, from this no. Yeah. And so we're just going to avoid that situation. I think that's what a lot of men do. That's why they don't tell you to get out of a relationship. They just force you to get out of it first, so they don't have to deal with the repercussions, all of that kind of stuff.
It's funny how it ties into like last week talk about men being vulnerable, and then that post that I sent you that my sister said is a dilemma where a man cancels a date because of his finances or whatnot. You know, it's that fine line of, if I can be vulnerable with her to share what's going on inside of me, how she's going to react to it or whatever, and kind of knowing your person. Because if you see her reacting to small things, oh, I can't tell her nothing. She gonna act crazy as soon as I say no. You know what I'm saying? Or opposed to knowing that, you know, she supports me in a lot of stuff. She might be okay with this, or might be okay with putting it on hold later. And I think that's like a dilemma that some men go through in their head, is trying to figure out which girl they got or whatever. Then you gotta watch the testing though.
I might be a little bit emotionalist, because I feel as though some things I really don't need to know. Some things, to me, if you can't do it, you just can't do it. And I'm okay with that. To me, I feel as though when I ask too many questions and things that I find out I really don't want to find out. And it kind of makes me look at this person a different way. So some things I'm better off with just not knowing. So if you telling me like, hey, I can't go out tonight. All right. Now, if it's a constant pattern, like, all right, 2 weeks from now, we're not going out again. And then again, it's like, all right, what's up? But some things with stuff like that, I'm cool with not knowing. But that's just me.
That's good, because you know your limits. You know what you can have. I mean, that's a good thing though, because you know
you got but 2 times to not take me out. Before the 3rd time, I'm out.
I'm not gonna ask you why you didn't take me.
I'm out.
No, I wouldn't do that with that.
I'm
not gonna ask you why. I'm not gonna ask you, but I know if it happens again.
If you see my bag packed, you know why. I done.
No, I wouldn't do that.
My 3rd time now. I definitely hear you. Last question, and this will probably lead to our next week's topic. It's our last question I want to ask you guys, but we'll keep it brief because I know we're going to finish. Since obviously I spoke a little bit about the men and how they suffer telling, maybe how they feel. Have there been moments in your life as a lady where you've dealt with a man and you've been unable to articulate what you actually needed from him?
I have.
Jonathan, no. Okay.
I think, but it was kind of like
yes.
how you felt when you weren't feeling it no more. And you know, I feel like, I'm not feeling it, but I need to identify why I'm not feeling this. And I felt like I had to really like look within to figure out why I'm not feeling this person. And because I want to be able to tell you why. And I feel bad if I can't and just be like, it's just not working for me, because that's not fair. So I think I had to figure out what's turning me off or what's giving me the ick. Because, you know, sometimes once you get the ick, it's like, it ain't going nowhere. So I got to figure out what's giving me the ick and what's turning me off about you. And a lot of times I couldn't figure that out, but I just knew I was turned off. Yeah.
Okay, I hear that. Jonah, you said no. You said no, that hasn't happened to you.
Because I have no problem telling my partner what's going on with me. And I get what she's saying, because some things just like, you don't know what it is. It's just a feeling. So I just described the feeling. So, you know, I'll be like, I feel like I'm a prisoner. I don't want to be in this situation anymore. I'm not. It's feel like it's a dark cloud. I don't feel good in this relationship. I'm not happy. You know what? Well, why? What made it start? I'm not sure what made it start, but I'm telling you, this is what I'm feeling now. And I would tell them when I begin to feel it, not when it's like all the way to the point where it's like past that. And I'm just like, hey, I don't feel right. Something don't feel right. Just don't feel like, you know, good anymore. I don't know if we need space or whatever it is, but something is not feeling right. I'm not feeling here anymore. So if we could communicate and talk it out and I start to feel better, like, all right, maybe it was just, you know, a little phase or whatever. But if it's a continuous feeling, it's like, I have no problem continually telling them, like, I don't think this is it. And it's to me, I think you get a feeling when it's over. It's like you get this feeling when it's completely over. I maybe it's just me, but it's like, no, this is definitely not. I don't want this no more. Like some things is like, all right, I'm not sure what I'm feeling right now, but I still love them. But I don't know what this is right now. Maybe it's just something, you know, I'm going through emotionally. I don't know. Let me figure this out. Get some time, and I'm gonna tell them. I'm gonna communicate. Let them know what's going on. But let me take some time because I don't know what this feeling is. And then you get a feeling where it's like, all right, no, this is not it no more. I don't. And I think it's worse when you linger in a relationship, knowing you have this feeling. You linger in that relationship and you don't give that person the acknowledge or the time to tell them like what it is. Instead, you wait until it balls. It's like tumbleweed. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Now all of a sudden, it's like, you know, all of a sudden you feel this way. Like, oh, and it's worse for that person because you're hurting that person, to me, more when you wait that long. So I have no problem telling my partner, you know, when I'm upset, when I don't like something, and so forth. So
before I go to Jay, and this is going to be next week's, I can't wait for next week's topic because it's going to be a bomb. And maybe I need to go for you back because what you just said, Diona, I love what you just said.
Why?
Because I have no clue what you just said.
What?
Yeah. Now, of course, when I coach people, I know exactly what you just said. But I'm talking like as a male. What you just said made no sense to me.
Dang.
You just told me, you just said to me, you're a prisoner.
Okay. So, yeah, it felt like I'm a prisoner in this relationship. This relationship is no longer suitable. I'm not happy. It's not, you know, it's not bringing the light. It's keeping me down. I feel like I got a chain and a ball tag on my leg, and I'm just dragging this situation on. It's like it's heavy. It's like it's something that's sitting on my shoulder where it's like I'm confined. It's like I'm like this. I don't like this feeling. I got to get out. And I'm not even feeling that connection to this person anymore.
Okay.
So it felt like
you
I'm just
told me that at the beginning of the situation, right?
Yeah.
That's what you said. So what does that mean? What, are we done? Are we what you see? Because what you said, I understand what you said.
Oh, okay. So
as a male, might not understand.
Oh, okay. So in the beginning, if I start to feel like I don't know what's this feeling, but our communication is lacking, it's starting to nitpick on stupid stuff, and I'm starting to feel like down. So if I tell you that, and then we start to communicate and fix it, all good and well. But if I continue to feel this way after we communicate and fix it, and then it's like, all right, then it's definitely something me. It's me. I don't know what it is, but it's me, and I got to figure this out. So I feel as though once I tell him that, and you know, probably get a little bit of space because he know I'm not really going nowhere. I just need the time to fix myself. Now, after I fix myself and I come back and I really feel as though it's like, nah, this is not it. I'm definitely going to let that person go. So if that kind of clarify, no.
Absolutely not.
I don't know what to do for you.
I'll tell you why. No. Listen, I know what you're saying.
Look, it's over. Fuck it.
I do know what you're saying. See, thank you. That's what you need to say. That's what you need to say. I don't know why you're going around the bush because that's what you needed to say. You know what I'm saying to you? That's what you really need to say. No, but I'm saying in a sense of, I think what you just said is exactly why I said that men and women don't actually understand each other. Because what you said is like reading a very beautiful 50 Shades of Grey. it's got the literary, it's got the flowers around it, it's got the great big words around it. So it's like when you're reading, it's like, wow, it's amazing. This is a picture you're painting. But actually, as a male who's been a male, and then sometimes I didn't understand emotional things. What you said did not make no sense. I was like, wait, so you feel like there's a ball and chain around you? What the hell does that mean? You feel trapped? What does that mean? You know what I mean? Like
y'all say that all the time, though. Males be like, I feel trapped.
I'm not saying you're wrong with it. I'm saying for us as men, when we're hearing that, because you said it first, as in there's a ball and chain around man's leg, and I'm like, okay, so what? So are you telling me to say that? My immediate thing as a male, is that because of me? Am I the one putting a ball and chain around your neck? But then what you actually exactly. But what exactly, and that's correct. But you actually did what was meant to be done after you started naming behaviors. You didn't keep it literary. That's what a man needs to hear. When you say there's a ball and chain around my leg, I don't know what the heck that means. If you say I'm nitpicking you, that's a behavior. I can now understand what you're saying to me. That's something I can change. That's something I can see. But when you say to me, I'm feeling this heavy dark cloud. What? What do you mean you feel a dark cloud, bro?
Well, that's to sugarcoat what I'm actually feeling. So let's reverse it. Let's say I'm the one that's nitpicking. I'm the one that's starting stuff. So instead of me doing those actions, it's like, listen, I feel like it's a ball and chain. I don't want to nitpick because I don't want that done to me. So it's like things that I don't want done to me, I don't do to somebody else. So I don't want to start little arguments. I don't want to nitpick. I just feel as though I need a break. Right now, I feel like I got a ball and chain around me, and I just need some space to figure out what's going on. So it's kind of like to shield from hurt in their feelings instead of really going in deep.
You should have my feelings. You should in your own. And you gotta be honest about that. Cause ain't nothing to do with me. You do the exact same thing us men do. Oh, I'm just trying to make sure your feelings are good. Ain't nothing to do with them, bro. You do what us men do. Come and join our side. Sit on the bench with me, Diana. You are right next to me. We need to sit on this bench together. Because you ain't going nowhere. She just said the classic, like, oh, I'm trying to spare their feelings. Oh, really?
Instead of you nitpicking with somebody and arguing with somebody all the time, just say like, listen, I don't know. Instead of doing that, just say, listen, before I even have to do all that, I know what it is. I'm not feeling this right now. Let me get some space. Like I would feel that better than actually nitpicking and me thinking, oh, it's something that I'm doing. What am I doing? Like, instead of that person really worried about like, oh my God, it's something that I'm doing. It's nothing that you're doing. It's definitely me. But I need some space to figure out what it is.
That's fair. That's fair. So when you say I just need space to figure out what I'm feeling, fantastic. You just start asking dark clouds and all that stuff. That sounds very literary.
Okay.
I'm not.
Yeah, sometimes I get like that. There's nothing
wrong with that. No. There's nothing wrong with that because when you're talking to other ladies, they get it. You know what I'm saying to you? Like because I work with ladies, I can get what you're saying. But I'm saying to you, like for a lot of men, that just it's like, what does that mean? But when you say to me, listen, I'm feeling some type of way. I need a break. I need to go and figure out how I'm feeling, and then come back and then give you an answer. I know exactly what you just said to me. Okay, she needs a break. Let's go away. She's gonna come back. That's actions. Because men can read the actions and they get it, but the emotional stuff, it's like whoa. It's like you know what I mean? That's what I was saying. I wasn't saying you're wrong.
The sun is
I was explaining. You know what I mean? I was just explaining how men, our brain is. Jay, go for it, and then your last person before we go out.
I'm so glad Deanna went because I don't necessarily struggle with telling you how I feel. However, I was previously a person who would go silent where I feel like I'm not being heard.
Me too. Yeah.
And I'll shut down and then I'll just silently retreat. But when it came to, I want this person in my life and I want to make it work, I had to find that fine line of toning down my mouth and my petty.
I'm glad you're being honest.
My petty just be jumping out there sometimes.
Gotcha.
I be having to find that fine line of being able to tone it down and deliver a message that goes past their ego. It's hard because a lot of times, and somebody said in the chat, we are talking to man's ego. And especially when it's in areas that they necessarily can't fix.
That's deep. That's deep.
Yeah. it's a thing. It's just trying to convey like I would love for you to be my person, but I don't know if I have the bandwidth to deal with this part here, because I just know this is not something that you can necessarily change or fix or.
Ooh, I'm gonna steal that line.
Whatever. Yeah, it's a good exit line.
You're the trash.
Look, y'all tough.
Doctor, we need to leave these two alone. Doctor, we need to leave these two alone.
But it's at the same time, it's like, you know, I would want for, you know, if you have come across this before in a situation, you know, somebody ever said this to you or something, like, I don't know, but I just want you to know it's not necessarily you. I know this is going to be so man too. It's not necessarily you. It is me, because I do know a lot of time it is me, but me personally, I don't want to settle or compromise or like rest here on this, because I know in the long run, I'm not going to be happy.
Yes.
And me not being happy, petty come out like real bad. It's gonna go bad. It's going downhill from here. I just don't. That's not the relationship I see.
Definitely, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's knowing my person. Who am I talking to? If they can handle the openness, because sometimes, some people we meet, they can handle all the rawness. It's straight cutthroat and stuff, and they're like, oh, okay, let me get my shit together.
Yeah,
I hear. And other people is like Coach was just doing the example. It's like, I don't get it. Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, bro, you're having such a blind moment right now. Like, how much more can I say? Do I need to write it down?
I ain't gonna lie, I would have been so frustrated.
What don't you get?
Yes, I would have been like, what did you not get? Let me go ahead.
So yeah, it's try not to frustrate myself while trying to.
Yes.
Listen, I hear it, man. I hear it. Well, listen, look, our car has come to the end of the journey, and the conversation has been sweet, and my passengers have been wonderful guests on our podcast show today. We've learned some key things here today. You know, we've learned that, you know, sometimes men don't understand the thing that women are saying, and we need to learn how to have better capability to understand and be able to respond to your needs as well. We've also learned that, you know, sometimes we need to be direct and share what we need from another person, even if that means leaving the relationship. Someone's got to go, we got to go, you know. We've also learned that, you know, we don't want to mind read. We want to be able to tell people what it is that's on our mind and our hearts, and not make them the center of our life, and focus on them to make ourselves happy as well. And then finally, we've learned that if you fall out of love, it doesn't mean it's over, but it's getting close. So fix up quick. Okay, there's a narrow window, sir. Be quick. All right, the ladies are telling us the window is short. Get in there, fix the problems, and get back out, sir. Okay. But yeah, no, it's been a very, very powerful conversation.
This is fun.
Dr. Ariel, thank you. Diana, thank you. Jay, appreciate you. You know, the ladies have been so good. You know, I might have to invite you again. You know what I mean?
Yes,
so
yeah.
You know, yeah, you guys, you enjoyed yourself, ladies?
Yeah, this is fun.
Yes.
I was a smooth driver, innit?
Yeah, smooth ride.
You hit some turns that we did.
Yeah,
well, this one's for 5 years.
Too. Yeah.
When Black came on and started saying 5 years, I knew the car was gonna hit the bump, so I did the car did that thing quickly, but I held it together. You know what I mean? So, you know, I appreciate it. But we're going back next week. We're gonna be talking about some more things around relationships and dilemmas. Audience, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. And we will see you again very soon. My guest, family, thank you so much for being present as well. Okay, people, don't do anything I wouldn't do. There's not much I wouldn't do. Okay, I appreciate y'all. Stay locked, stay loaded, and we'll see you again very, very soon. Ta-ra, ta-ra, and good night.